me ask you a question. When you were a kid, did you ever sneak eat? I did, lots of times. I remember so many nights when I would wait patiently in bed, listening for sounds telling me that everybody was sleeping and the coast was clear. As soon as I could hear Dad's snores, I knew it was safe to make my move. Like a thief in the night, I'd peel back the covers, rise up out of the bed, and tiptoe toward the kitchen, being so careful, trying not to make a sound. Damn those squeaky floorboards! If I heard a noise, I'd freeze dead in my tracks and wait, holding my breath and listening until it was safe to continue. Once I got to the kitchen, I'd crack open the refrigerator door just enough so I could see what I was doing, but nobody would be woken up by the light. Then, just like a little squirrel gathering nuts, I stuffed as much food as I could in my pajamas and filled both pockets of my fuzzy pink bathrobe. Quickly and quietly, I retraced the steps back to my room. I crawled into bed and with a flashlight under my covers, emptied my pockets and quietly started the process of peeling, opening, pulling, sucking, chewing, and consuming all my goodies. They were all mine. The cookies, pieces of cheese and meat, canned pudding, frozen donuts, cold Chinese takeaway, and all sorts of foods I wasn't allowed to have on my diet. From that experience and many others like it, I believed for the next 35 years that I was out of control around food. This belief caused me to be deeply ashamed of myself. In an effort to tame what I thought was the voracious feast beast lurking inside of me, I kept on riding the diet roller coaster, pinning all my hopes on the dream that one day I would lose weight and become thin and beautiful. Now that I look back on those years spent dieting, I realized that diets confirmed my belief that I couldn't trust myself around food. Diets gave me the message time and time again that I was fighting an addiction and had no self-control. I believed that foods I loved were off limits. Food like fatty steak, potato chips, bacon, sausages, bagels, French fries, chocolate cupcakes, ring-dings and yodels, cookies, cakes, pies and soda, buttered popcorn, and even my Nana's famous homemade pasta. These foods came to be considered as the fattening or bad foods, and for me to eat them or even want them meant I was undisciplined and out of control. But despite feeling shameful for craving those yummy goodies, my desire for them led me around by the nose. Cheating on my diet made me feel like a criminal, although my only crime was one of passionately wanting food I was told I couldn't have. I lived in constant shame, torn by guilt and self-loathing. The ripple effect of how that shaped my life still continues to amaze me today. And it's the reason why I'm writing this book and sharing what I've learned with you. For years, I cursed myself and my weakness, blaming all my problems on the size of my thighs. Now I know my thighs and my eating were never the real problem. They were only a cover-up. A big fat lie that everyone wanted me to believe to keep me on a diet. It worked for a long time because most of my adult life I was completely fooled into thinking I was miserable because I had fat thighs. I never considered the possibility that I had fat thighs because I was miserable. Up until several years ago, when I decided to stop dieting, I swore I couldn't feel safe around an open bag of potato chips, a plate of freshly made brownies, or a steaming bowl of pasta. But now I know I can, and you can too. I'll just bet you don't believe it. Maybe, like me, you've been raised to believe the problem is you, and there's something wrong with you. Nothing could be further from the truth. What stories are you telling yourself? What things have you been saying to your body? What feelings do you get every time you look in the mirror? The nasty things you say to yourself don't just stay in your head. Your thoughts are energy, an integral part of the universe, and each thought has its own ability to affect the world, and most importantly, you and your body. As we go on, I'll explain to you how your thoughts, specifically your negative self-talk, can make you fat. Can you relate to my story? Do you feel tortured, twisted, and desperately worn out by your relationship with food? Are you sick and tired of hating your body? If you are overweight, unhappy, struggling with a low self-image, and suffering from feelings of shame and guilt, you may often find yourself using food to comfort you. Don't blame yourself. You're not alone in your struggles, and your challenges definitely do not make you a bad person. You're only doing what your body has done before to make you feel safe, eating. It's been your way of taking care of yourself, and there's no shame in that. However, if you're no longer willing to allow food to enslave you, it's not time for a new diet. It's time for a change.